Biafra, superstars, media.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Biafra Superstars Media. Today, I wish to ask a very pertinent question to our fellow Biafrans living in local and in diaspora. What type of Biafra do we want? How do we want to be perceived in the world? Do we want to start a country where we are respected for our intellect, our technical know-how, and ability? Or do we want to be seen as a country where partying and jamboree is the order of the day? For the past few days, we saw the 50th birthday anniversary of our brother, Cubana. But to me, I felt the lavish lifestyle at 50 was not warranted. But the question is, what do we Biafrans want? Where do we see ourselves 50 years from now, when we implement and we are living in our beloved country, Biafra? Is this the lifestyle we want? Will this be the bedrock of our culture? This new way of doing things lavishly, living in a vida loca, having the spirit of lasciviousness when it comes to money, loving money, seeing partying and jabbering as a way of life. Is this what we want for Biafra? Or is this what Biafra will be synonymous to? Because this new wave of culture is a bit frightening. I want to live in a country where the next man doesn't know how much you have in your account. I want to live in a country where the youths are respected for the mind, the ideas they have to change the world. Not to party from AM to PM. Not how much cars you've got. How many cows you kill in a festival. And how much houses you've got to flaunt. At this point, I would like to introduce to us our brother, the Biafran golden child, to speak on this topic. I will give him the floor to educate our brother Cubana and the likes out there living in the local, because this thing called Biafra that we are bringing to the nation, we must be disciplined and focused. We must compete with the world and let them know that Biafra is open for business and we should be taken seriously. Not the people who is here to marry, party, and live a lascivious lifestyle. For now, I wish to present to you all a man who was there during as a child in the Biafran War. A man who suffered kwashoko, who was disciplined throughout kwashoko in the Biafran War. A man who saw his mother, father, sister kick the bucket during the Biafran War. I wish to call upon our brother, Biafran golden child, to speak on this topic and educate us on this topic. Fellow Biafrans, listeners all across the world, without any much further ado, I present to us the Biafran golden child, the real Biafran golden child, to speak on this topic. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending, of course, from where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafra Golden Child, and I'm super, super happy, to interact with our people this morning. Yeah, although the contents of this audio this morning is very, very, perturbing to me, very, very disturbing to me, and I thought I should immediately bring this observation to light. Yes, for the purpose of this audio this morning, uh, I remember vividly what our, late Dimo Dumogojuku, how he cautioned the Biafrans, Ndi Igbo, when he told them, Ndi Igbo, when will you learn? When he cautioned them after they started building mansions, edifices, super edifices, shopping malls with a powerful high-rise shopping malls, multi-million dollars shopping malls all over Lagos, all over Trade Fair, all over Aspanda, all over Alaba International. Yes, and they called him to come and, launch it for them. Yes, during the opening ceremony. Yes, our, late Demo Demogojuko. Yes, the leader of Biafra. Yeah, the godfather of Biafra came up and after congratulating Ndibo, after congratulating his people, the fellow Biafrans, he said, okay, I have seen all the magnificent buildings you have built here. I've seen all the edifices that cost multi-million dollars. I've seen the guest houses. I've seen the shopping malls. I've seen all these ultra-modern buildings you're doing here. But I want to ask you, my dear brothers, wouldn't it have been better if this was built in, your enclave? Would this not have been better if it was built within Biafra land? He told them and he asked them a rhetorical question. Ndibo, when will you learn? Have you forgotten the incidents of 1966, 67, 68, 69, 70 Civil War? Have you forgotten the issues of abandoned property? Have you forgotten how your properties were taken? Yes, in an edict, legislations made immediately after the war, when they said they called the businesses, they called buildings, they called edifices built by Ndebo, abandoned properties. He said, have you forgotten? Would it not be better if you're building all these shopping malls, extraordinary shopping malls, multi-modern, multi-million dollar shopping malls in the southeast, where you could have insurance, where I thought it would have been safer because of experience? Ndebo, when will you learn? And so when I remember what our leader, the godfather of Biafra, told, astonished traders, astonished businessmen at trade fair at Alaba International, it really makes my mind, boggle. I feel painful. I feel sad. I feel very, very, unhappy that our people have not learned. Ndebo, when will you learn? And so, ladies and gentlemen, some group of people called my attention, to the weekend, convivial happy birthday celebrations of none other than a great Igbo son, a great Biafran son, in the person of Obi Cubana. Yes, we saw the people told me how lavish the party was, how of course it was a party, where millions of dollars, millions of naira, millions were displayed and were showcased and were gifted. The people called my attention to the fact that, look, Oga, Chief, you always talk about Biafra. You always talk about, the people of Biafra, and you talk about how they're being marginalized, you talk about how they are treated like second fiddles, you talk about how they are treated like vassals. You say your people are not happy in Nigeria. I mean, this zoo called Nigeria. You said your people are treated with contempt, with a pathological hatred. You say your people are hated here and there. You say your people have no hope, have no future in this, you know, uh, Niger entity. Do you see, did you see how your people were brandishing money, wealth, how they were splashing money as if money was running out of, fashion? Did you see how millions of dollars, millions of naira were being splashed everywhere as if there was a competition to outdo one another? Oga, every time you talk about the Igbo experience, you talk about the Igbo people as being marginalized, as being pulverized, as being subjected to highest levels of poverty and hardship. You say your people are not happy doing business, you know, in other regions, especially because they are treated, sometimes they are heated with double taxations, triple taxations. You say your people are deprived. They don't have seaports in the southeast. They don't have functional airports in the southeast. They have to resort to going to Abuja, to Lagos, to for Lagos MPA seaports, Calabar seaports, Sapele seaports, and all that to do business. You say they have to go to KANU airport to fly their commodities for export, and they are paying huge taxes. The transport cost is beyond there. But do you see how your people, when they make money, how they brandish this money, how they treat it with such hopeless abandon? Do you see how your people splash money? Like, of course, money is paper. Why are your people not learning? We thought Odumegwu warned them. Let Odumegwu warn them to be careful, to beware, to think about the southeast. These people who are splashing this money, Cubana'S birthday. These people who are splashing all these huge amounts, some spraying dollars, spraying pound sterling. People who are spreading money as if money is running out of fashion. How much do these people contribute to the Biafra, declared United States of Biafra? How much are these people investing in Biafra? How many of these people have called the Deputy Prime Minister of Biafra, Dr. Ngozi Arabueze, and said, look, Mama, take this, take this. Let it continue to champion your cause. We are right behind you. How many of these people celebrate Biafra? Ladies and gentlemen, freedom lovers of Biafra, I think it calls, it calls for concern. It calls for concern that our Igbo rich people, Biafran rich people, rich businessmen have lost their focus. What are they trying to celebrate? You're organizing a multi-million dollar birthday when your people are growing in poverty and ruin. A lot of people in the southeast cannot afford 2 square meals, let alone 3. People find it difficult to survive. People find it difficult to eat. People find it difficult, very difficult indeed, to pay their school fees. A lot of children are out of primary school, secondary school, tertiary institutions because nobody can pay their school fees. And yet, Obi Kubana is celebrating a birthday that has cost multi-million dollars, where his friends, his associates have come to splash, to compete on who outdoes the other. And all these people are Igbo people. People who hear that several people are being killed in the southeast, that Fulani jihadists are killing people in the southeast, burning their homes, burning their farmlands, killing them, raping, and kidnapping them. What do they do about it? These are people who see every day videos in this social media, in the news media, showcasing Igbo, Biafran individuals, people living with life-threatening conditions. sick. Some have, massive head, proportions that need operation. Some need kidney transplants. Some have liver issues. Some are suffering from cancer. What have they done? Absolutely nothing. These pictures show, the social media show a lot of people who don't have homes, widows who are crying that their husbands have died. They have no money to feed their children. They don't have a home. Their in-laws have chased them out. How many of these our socialites, Biafran socialites, have come out to say, okay, madam, give this to the widow. Madam, I'll build this house for you. I'll build this for you. Why do we splash money in the public? Why do we always dance to the gallery? Ndibo, is this what we need in 2025? Do we need competition on how to spend money, to waste money, to outdo one another in order to show that we belong, in order to show that we have made it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a hater of success. Never, never, never. I am a successful man too. Yes, and I pray for my children to succeed too. I'm not against doing well in business. No, I want to be Cubana and the rest of them to succeed. But what I'm against is when you come out in the public domain, in a country that already hates you, and within people who already look at you as a competition, people who look at you as a competitor, people who look at you as aspiring to take over all they have, and you are splashing money as if money has gone out of fashion. You are spending money as though money is paper. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should remember what our late Demo Dumogru Juku, the Kembane we told us, the godfather of Biafra, the man who led the Biafran War, a Biafran war in which over 7 million people died, in which over 3 million children died of kwashoko, died of malnutrition, died of lack of food, hunger and starvation, in which over 3 million elderly people who were sick died, wounded people who were sick died because they had no access, to medication. Of course, we all remember that the seaports, the airports, and the land had been cordoned off so that no help shall come to the southeast, to Biafra land. Do you remember those who committed suicide after the war? Those who killed themselves because all over as soon as the war ended, people who were multimillionaires, who had thousands of money in banks, of course, they were told by the Gowon administration, then Lieutenant General Yakubu Gowon's administration, that they were told that only thing they would get from their thousands of naira in the bank, from their millions of naira in the bank, was a paltry 20 pounds. These people could not bear it because, of course, they had families, because, of course, they had children, because they had their fathers and mothers to feed. Of course, most of them committed suicide, such that the people who died after the war were almost the same number as those who died during the war, because, of course, all their life savings had gone. Everything they worked for in the past, which they thought was secured in the bank, had gone. Yes, because all of a sudden, what they were gifted with from a head of state who said the war has ended, there's no victor, no vanquished. From a head of state who said, come back, there will be rehabilitation, there will be total reconciliation, there will in fact reconstruction. The 3 R's, which General Yakubu Gowon propagated vociferously all over the media, all over the world. The Igbos will be rehabilitated. What was destroyed will be reconstructed. Of course, there will be, complete reconciliation. And after that, all said and done, what the Biafrans, what the people who just finished the war was gifted with was 20 pounds to go and die. You either become a beggar or you die. I don't know if Obi Kubana and his like know this history. Unfortunately, I don't know. He just celebrated 50 years. But I think he should know about the Nigerian Civil War. I think he should know about the Biafran War, how his people perished, how there was a unnecessary declaration of war to a peace-loving people who didn't want war. How because of a failed coup, the Kaduna coup of 1966, January 1966, how a coup that was supposed to bring up Chief Obafemi Awolowo, late Chief Obafemi Awolowo from Western Nigeria to be the president at that time was suddenly tagged and pronounced an Igbo coup. And because it was called an Igbo coup, and because a lot of personalities from the north were killed, the Southern of Sokoto, yes, the then Prime Minister, Tafa Balewa, and a lot of dignitaries who were killed. Yes, because those people were killed, of course, the whole north turned on Ndibo. They said it was an Igbo coup, because after all, the man who led it was Chukwumanzogo. They forget that his full names were Major Kaduna Chukwumanzogo. They forget, and which has been revealed in recent times by none other than a living former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, that coup was led by Major Kaduna Chukwumanzogo, who was more Hausa than the Hausa, who was more Fulani than the Fulani, who knew nothing about Igbo land, who was born and bred in Kaduna. The man spoke no Igbo. The man knew nothing about Igbo culture. All his ways, all his modus operandi, modus vivendi, all his life was Hausa. He was more Aboki than Nyamiri, if you permit me to use such parlance. I don't know if Obi Kubana is like, including, of course, the man who calls himself the chief priest. I don't know if these people who splash millions at every given opportunity, acting like money is paper, do they remember where the rain hit them? Because we were told by none other than our prolific writer, legendary, late Chinua Achebe, who told us that the man who didn't know where the rain started beating him will not know when the rain stopped beating him. If you don't know your culture, if you don't know your roots, how can you say you are from that culture? Obi Kubana and likes. Yes, you've become successful. Yes, you become leaders in your various endeavors, captains of industries in your various business endeavors. But is this the best way to waste your money? Is this the best way to splash money? Are you giving the impression that the South is the Biafra land is full of billionaires who know what nothing to do with money, who don't know important and meaningful things to do with their money, rather than creating lavishing millions on birthdays, lavishing billions on burials? Is this what Ndibo should be known for? I think it's a very sad one. I've been reminded that listen, this is not what we preach. We must practice what we preach. As far as we're concerned, we are in Biafra land, in the United States of Biafra, we're talking about the welfare of the Igbo people. And we are saying, those of us who have made it so well, go to the East, develop the East, build more hospitals, build more teaching hospitals, build more schools, give scholarship if you have the money, take care of the widows, take care of the orphans, take care of the poor that you have amongst you. Stop splashing your money as if money is running out of competition, out of fashion. Stop competing on how to outdo one another, to celebrate or for frivolous fun fairs. Seriously, other people are laughing at us. People are laughing at us. I can't imagine a Hausa man, someone from the north who has the kind of money Cubana has, even more, making such noise, organizing such celebrations. As far as they're concerned, it is totally a waste of money. Put want it in better places. Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Like our late godfather of Biafra, Dimo Dumogojukwu, asked Ndibo at Mandela's, at trade fair. He asked them at Alaba International, building gangattual edifices here and there, multi-million-dollar plazas. He asked them, who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? It is an act of foolery. Because if the impression you're giving them is that you didn't work hard for that money. If you worked hard in a business, traveled all the travel, imported all the importations, exported all the exportables, and then you come back and you are lavishing money, splashing money as if money is paper. No, money does not grow on grass. No, you should know. You should know where you come from. Always know your square root. What is your surname? What is your surname that you come and waste all this so that they are looking at you as a Biafra man without, without integrity, who does not know what to do with his money. I don't know if somebody like Dangote, with all the famed money he has, including government, sponsored enterprises, I don't think Dangote, with all his majesty, with all his financial breakthroughs, with all his money, billions and trillions, would descend so low to mark birthdays like this. 50 years, yes, 50 and still climbing. I wish Obi Cubana well. But what I ask is, what is this for? Is it necessary? What do you hope to achieve? All over the social media, all over the mass media, everywhere is the talk about billions of naira spent on a birthday celebration. And yet, we don't have functional teaching hospitals in Biafra land. And yet, people are hungry. And yet, people cannot afford even 2 square meals. And yet, widows are groaning, orphans. A lot of people are sick. They need, life-saving operations. Nobody's gifting them money. They cry daily for support. For support. Nobody's giving it to them. But every other day we read about how millions of dollars, millions of naira are being spent by our Biafran celebrities on champagnes, on cocktails, on burials, on donations to one another during burials, how they want to outdo each other. This one sends 50 cows, another one sends 100 cows, another one sends, what are you portraying? Are you saying you are the king of money? There's the ego. That your money grows on trees? That you don't know what to use money to do? Please, please, my fellow Biafrans, freedom lovers, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we called a spade, not an agricultural instrument. Let us tell some of these our brothers the truth, the basic truth. It is only a wicked fellow who would see his sister dance naked in the market with people clapping for her, and they will join them and clap. It is never done that way. The grief is always for that person who sees his brother clowning in the market, dancing naked. Of course, the first thing you should do, look for a way to get a cloth and cover the nakedness of your sister or your brother dancing naked in the marriage because of dementia, because of probably insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't hate anybody. Like I said, I'm not against people living large. But what I'm saying is you do things with moderation. Remember whose son you are. Remember whose daughter you are. Remember where you are from. Remember what has happened to your people between 1966, 67, 68, 69, 1970. Remember how a lot of people died during the Biafran Civil War. Your kids and kin, your fathers and great grandfathers, your uncles, your aunties, your sisters, probably your mothers and fathers. Why are you dancing naked? Why are you clowning? You want to be clapped for? Yes. Does that make you a superstar? Does that make you better than any other person? No. The Yoruba man is laughing at us. The Hausa brother is laughing at you. Other regions make mockery of us. And they point at us and say, see them. These people don't know what they want. Every time they talk Biafra, Biafra, they talk about emancipation of Biafra, they talk about marginalization of Biafra, they talk about being, handicapped in their businesses. But of course, see them. The slightest opportunity they have, they waste it all. They flaunt it. They dance naked in the public. My fellow Biafrans, ladies and gentlemen, I think, of course, the adage says that the word is enough for the wise. But who is listening? Who is listening? Are they really listening? I pray they listen. I pray they listen. Yes. Yes, they should listen. I pray we tell them, let them realize that we are Biafrans and we are people who are fighting for liberation. We want our own sovereign nation. We want to manage our own affairs. Since they say we cannot attain leadership positions in their country, we want our own country where we can be our own president, where we can manage our affairs, our resources, human and natural resources. When we begin to waste all this money in the public, when we begin to dance naked in the public, so to speak, we are telling them we don't know what we want. Far be it from me that I will forget what Dim Odumogojukwu warned Ndị Igbo. Ndị Igbo, when will you learn? Biafrans, when will you learn? A word is enough for the wise. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this audio, will meet us as good health of mind and body. I hope it sends right messages because, of course, at the Biafra Superstars Media, we are talking to our people. We know that everything Biafra is important to us. We think Biafra, we drink Biafra, we breathe Biafra. And of course, when our own brother, our junior brother is going astray, it behoves on us to correct him. They said an old man cannot be in the barn, in the house, while a goat that is tethered, a tethered goat is delivering, is giving birth, is an abomination. When you see and you don't say, you are condemned like the person who did not listen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all.
Yeah, Biafra, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.